on the big blower and tell me if you can hear me. Now I'm talking with the blower on, so if you can hear me really nice, say leather blower. And then let me know how loud the blower is in the background. So you can hear me really well. That's awesome. Okay, now I'm going to go over to the lathe. And I'm going to turn the lathe on. The lathe is now on. And I'm going to carve a little bit. And then you can come in the garage and tell me how you can hear me. What's that, babe? Oh, that's awesome. Okay, we figured something out. That's great. Okay, looks like our audio engineering problems are over for a bit. Now while I'm carving and turning, how does this sound? Pretty good? Let's see, I'm going to get my calipers out here. That's about 0.6, that's about 0.6. Okay, too fat. Got to get this head where your fingers press down on the diamond painting to be a nice stop for the background of what you're doing. And then we've got to give some room in here for your fingers. Let's measure that. Should keep it just a little bit above a ½ inch. Let me turn that off. So right now we're at about 0.56, 0.53 on that one. A little bit more off. Then we're going to figure out what kind of design we're going to do. And I do have to take some meat off of this pen, or it's going to be way too heavy. We'll probably do a little video tomorrow talking about the anatomy of a proper diamond painting pen and why they are shaped the way they are for most people. Everybody's a little bit different, so we get that. And then there are some things we take into consideration, such as carpal tunnel syndrome and stuff like that. Some people need a fatter pen to grip. Some people need a thinner pen to grip. But long story short, you don't want too much weight, and you want to be able to not have to use too much finger strength while you're doing it, or you wear out yourself and your arms quicker while you're diamond painting. The idea of a properly designed pen allows you to diamond paint longer with less stress through your arms and fingers. And that is scientifically proven. I think I read it on the back of a bag of a Happy Meal at McDonald's. So I know it's true. You didn't think McDonald's was up on all the diamond painting technology, did you? Okay, so these finger holds are getting down about where they need to be. Let me measure those. All right, that's just above 0.5 inches. That's perfect. The finishing will take a little bit off of that. Now the question is, what are we going to do for a design? There's a little bit of ocean effect in this pen, so you would think a really cool ocean motif, some waves and stuff, would be cool, but that might be a little too boring for this particular pen. Let me get some more off of this one and make it match the other end there. There we go. Give it a little bit of a stinger here on the end. Alright, that looks like a good match there. Alright. Take a little bit of more of this beef off. So in the first part of the design of this pen, a couple things to look at. One is we got a head on either end. The reason that head of the pen is there is when your fingers push down on the canvas or the diamond, you're pushing against this angle, which requires you to grip less hard or less firm here in this area. Also, we finish this with a satin finish so that as you're pressing against it, it actually takes less energy to squeeze that pen than not. So we've reduced the squeezing and holding of the pen by 2 times. 1, the force down towards the drill on the canvas, and 2, squeezing of your fingers and giving you enough room in here for your finger as you're diamond painting. And right now I'm just tweaking it a little bit, thinking about an idea that we want to do for this. While we're thinking of that, I'm going to clean up the ends right now. We'll use my super sharp, pointy thing that allows me to do that there. Beautiful. And that just gives it a really nice landing place for your drill tip. There we go. Then we'll clean up the end of this a little bit. There we go. Nice. Make it super smooth. This one's going to be a little tougher because I got to do this one design at least 16 times. So I got to think about, babes, if you've got some idea of what kind of design you want on here, let me know, because that's what we'll do. I'm thinking maybe 4 balls along here. If I do that there, I got 4 segments in there. If I make them a little bit longer, that'll give me a little bit of wave action in the middle. So I'm going to lock this down. I'm going to mark the center. Oops, dropped my ruler. The center of the pen to know where my divider goes. Got to get the inches on there because that's where the middle is. This is a 6-inch pen. Pick up a little confetti as I'm thinking here. Alright, so if I place that in the middle there, that's going to give me 4 balls that I can play with in the wave. Alright, so this thing, all this does is give me equidistance so I can make them symmetrical. And then it grinds little lines in here that I can now follow with my knives. Alright. We do have 4 people watching. If you're here tonight, say hello. Okay, now we'll start making the ball part of it. We'll get our ends finished a little bit. Make a nice fat valley in there for finishing. Looks better when I'm finishing. It makes it a little wider. Now make these a little more spherical in nature, so as to make them smooth when they're resting against your arm or the little fat part of your hand there. Right in there with the rounded knife. That makes a super smooth valley there. I think that's going to be the design for this guy. Profile these bumps nice and evenly, and then we'll be finishing this one. And again, this is the version that we have created to work along with Dakota Daetwiler's Collide, which was just released last week, and that's put out by Diamond Art Club. Looking good. Time to finish. So we move the armrest out of the area, and I bring my sham wows over to protect the metal bed. And I go get some sandpaper. Oh, just rewatch it. And then we finish it up. Oh, just lost that one. Let me turn the big blower off. Don't need it while I'm finishing. Because I use water, that captures all of any dust that might have been created. And if Carrie approves of this design, then this design will go on all the pens. I sort of like it. It's simple, it's easy, it's not going to get in the way of the gorgeous colors and designs within the blank, which is really the reason that you would buy this, to go with the Dakota Daetwiler Collide, because these colors were pulled from her drawing and Diamond Art Club's rendering of that. So we are definitely paying homage to a wonderful artist and her artistry, and Diamond Art Club's conversion of that artwork into a diamond painting pattern for people to play with. And we don't really stop this until we're all done, just to gasp as we see it when it's all done. One more piece to get a little bit more sanding done here to make these super smooth. This just gets all the knife marks out, the chatter, all that good kind of stuff. If you've ordered one of these, realize these are a little bit thinner pen, because, you know, as ours are, they're thinner, they're lighter, and they're got a very satiny feel to them, which I explained earlier, and the reasons for all that type of thing. But if you want yours a little fatter, then we can match that up and match that diameter. What I would need to know is how round it is, and then I can convert that circumference into a diameter. And that'll get us really close. Close enough for government work, as they say. right. And again, we generally choose a design that goes along with what's in the pen. I don't carve just to carve. I try to not get in the way of the gorgeous swirls and the color mixes and all that kind of stuff by just giving you a design that cuts into all that and gives you different angles into that particular design. And then you get a nicely sculpted pen that you're not buying it because I'm a great sculptor on the lathe. That'll come someday in the future, I'm sure, if I keep this up. But you're buying it because you want to observe the colors while you're diamond painting that particular piece and all the swirls. Yep, this is smooth as can be. All right, now I'm gonna wipe it down and get all the dust off it. I'm just using plain old water, nothing fancy, just something to lubricate and keep the dust down. Alright, now we get the super shiny stuff in here, a little bit there, and do this up. The only place we don't polish is where the ends of, what do you call it, the pads of your finger go, because that's what's going to interfere, or excuse me, interact with the pen that allow you to grip it lightly. That's why we do that. The fingerprints are the things that actually grip the actual pen. And then we're going to shine up the tip because it's got to look pretty while you're diamond painting. Put a little more grit on there. Whew-wee. Super shiny. Oh yeah, there we go. And then we just wipe it across there to blend it all in. We're done with the polish. Ooh, and there's the pen. Let me wipe all the polish off. This is a 6-inch pen, so if you're used to 5-inch pens, this will look a little thin. But as you can see, this is the pen, and it is gorgeous. The colors Carrie picked to go with that pen design is just incredible. Just beautiful. Yeah, I think I need to finish sanding right there a little bit. I could see where it needs a little help. So I'm going to put it back on the lathe. And I'm going to go back over just this end right here. And I'm going to start with the lowest grit first, because I saw a couple cut lines in there that I don't want to be there when it gets to the customer. Much better. Next grit down. Beautiful. Next grit after that. And one grit just gets rid of the lines from the previous grits, and that's how you get something that's rough to get shinier and shinier and shinier, or smoother and smoother. Beautiful. And for the final grit, alright, that's fine done there. Now we come over, get all the dust off from sanding, and get out our polish. Again, we're going to polish up in here, and we're not going to hit the fingerprint area, but we're going to get around the fingerprint area. There we go. Now let's, oh, I'm much happier with that. Absolutely. That is brilliant. There it is. I'll spin it there a little bit so you can see it. Absolutely gorgeous. You can see the gold clouds in the ship, and down below here you can see the ocean waves and the action in the waves. That really came out pretty cool. I like it a lot. Woo! That's nice.